Hello, this is Kazuyoshi Hisano. The title of this program is Habits Craft for Your Future, Transforming Thoughts and Actions. I've been speaking about how to form the habits that will help our life become better. And in the entire season 1 from 3, I've spent the time to speak about the essence of the habits. And also, I've referred to the concept that is called goal vision, which I have developed in the past decade, and combine them so that you will be able to understand how the habit will work and what are the prerequisites for the habit to work effectively in your life. And I'm moving forward, and now I am going to spend some time speaking in this series 4 about how you could develop and also use your special power to be successful at decisive or pivotal moment in your life. So the basic assumption is this. I really think that there are, of course, if you are an athlete, you would have an important game to play. Or if you are a performer, you'll definitely need to perform at a certain moment. And you will have a highlight of your life. And it is so important for such kind of performers or athletes or whatever player that needs to focus on whatever moment to pull the best out of themselves. They will need to do well at that moment. And there are certain areas to focus. And I'm a coach, mind coach, and of course I would be able to help those people excel at that moment. However, if we expand this to our general life, like you will say that I'm not an athlete, or I used to play at high school but I don't anymore, or I don't play a guitar or piano, or you could say so, and I agree with that. So it means that you may not have such a moment that you will need to pull the best out of yourself that much compared to such special kind of a work or activities. But I really have a question. Is that really true that our life, if I'm not an athlete or something like that, we don't have anything that we need to do the best at the moment? And my answer is different, that I really want to say that every person, individual has a moment that they really want to perform at their peak at a special moment in their life. So, if you play golf, you may have a moment because you will need to do the tee shot in front of a lot of people, or there's the putting, you know what putting means, so that is going to make a change. However, not only that, like a presentation to your boss or to the client, or such kind of moments are also important, and we would have an interview and exams. So compared to being an athlete, maybe it's a little bit different, but so basically I think it's the same, that you will need to perform well and you will want to perform well, and that the performance at such moment will make a huge difference to your life. This is what I'm going to pursue in the season 4. So assuming that everybody has such pivotal moment in our life that we really need to put our best in. And if so, another question will emerge that how can I do well at that moment? And of course, we know that you need to practice, you need to prepare. Of course, you may need to relax. You know that you need to believe in yourself, or those kind of things. We could get these things from any self-help book or management book, or maybe your boss's advice, or maybe your partner could say the same thing. So we really all know how to excel in your life at the moment. But we probably are not believing in them, all of them. And probably we will lack the preparation, probably we lack the confidence, probably we are nervous at the moment, and everything comes together and your performance is so-so, and you're frustrated or you're not happy with where you are, and we want to improve. And also, if you have a kid to raise, probably you would like to teach how to be able to perform well at that moment, which actually you may not be fully convinced yourself. So what I'm going to speak is not just about the performance for yourself, but the performance for, well, this will contribute to performance for the people around you as well. And I hope you start to feel that you are inclined to listen to this more. And make a long story short, I started from the management coach or executive coach, and I've been coaching those people, and I learned that there are significant difficult moments for them to make a decision or an action, and it's hard for them. So I also developed my own skill to help them make right decisions and take right or better actions at the moment. But after that, I happened to start coaching some athletes, particularly who are performing at the really, really top level, professional athletes. And then I have learned that I knew, but I have relearned that management decision making is difficult, but also they would have time to decide things. And it could be a day or an hour, but still it's longer than the athlete would need to deal with. The time frame is longer, and the athletes would make a decision or switch in their mindset within 10 seconds or even a second or maybe a blink. They would need to switch their thought. So in order to make a decision or refresh your mind and move on to what you really need to do within 5 seconds or 2 seconds, we will need to acquire something that we usually don't do. And if you could at least learn something about that and start applying to your life, I think your presentation or your interview or your exams or your children, such kind of a challenge would be much easier. And so therefore, I think you would be able to benefit from this talk such kind of a decision making or action taking as well. Well, the other thing is that what I want to mention is we think that if we train ourselves, we become better. And this is true in a various way. But at the same time, you and I are dealing with something that is happening outside of your world, which means that your self-practice training or self-understanding is not enough. And it's very important to learn and understand that we are a part of the environment, and we have a power to influence the environment. However, we are not controlling all the environment, which means that we will need to face the outside environment and adapt. And of course, this adaptation influences the outside environment. So the outside environment does also change. So both you and the environment will change. And such kind of dynamic exchange of the energy or circumstance change are going to be really happening. So it is important that we would also understand that this world is not so simple, and it contains a lot of complexity, and it is necessary for us to understand and deal with such complexity. So, as you may heard, probably you may thought that, okay, Kazuyoshi is going to speak a little bit difficult thing than he was before. And I also am thinking, I started to feel so. So I'm trying to make this as simple as possible so that everybody can understand. Of course, I want to be crisp as much as possible. And yet, it's going to be simple, but also it's going to be very powerful tool. And you may not necessarily understand everything at the first time, but afterwards, once you go through it, I believe that things will be accumulated in your mind, and you will start to understand what this really is. So I wish you would follow what I'm going to speak in the coming podcast programs, and I hope you'd grab something out of that and build something on top of that. All right, that was the first new series, and again, just to summarize, it's about pulling the best out of yourself at the pivotal moment. It is really important because every one of us has such kind of a moment that we really need to do the best. And actually, probably most of the cases we are not trained to do that. So I'm trying to provide that skill or approach, what I have built on top of my experience dealing with the top executives and top athletes and also myself. All right, so I'm going to talk about this more in the future and look forward to speaking with you. Thank you. This is Kazuyoshi.